Hey, everybody on YouTube, this is Scoots coming in a little hotter than normal. I'm trying something else out new here, trying to figure out a way to support content on YouTube in the best way to do it, because the way we've been doing it hasn't really been working as well as it could have, or well as it could. So if you like this, if you have a chance before you, as you just started up the episode, if you could like this episode and subscribe to our channel, that would be huge towards me being able to keep putting stuff out like this and trying out new ideas to say, hey, I know there's people that listen on YouTube and I want to give you the best experience we can. And yeah, that's the best way to do it. You could like the episode, you could comment on the episode and subscribe to our channel. And thanks so much. And I really appreciate it. And here we go. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you have a favorite number, and it just happens to be between 700 and 800, and I'm remembering which episode this intro goes with correctly, you may hear your favorite number. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that have, well, I actually don't know a lot of people that have favorite numbers, unless it's under... Again, another please don't ask me my favorite number. I don't need the performance pressure because I'm going to overthink it. Say, what do you think? What would make you think the best of me? Which number? Is it 7? Is it 11? Is it something else? Triple, you know what? The old number that was in that movie on that, like, what? I don't know, like, is it a number that would make you giggle? You say, what? For the love of numbers, this just doesn't add up. What is this person talking about? Sorry, that was just like, sometimes being silly just comes, it doesn't even come natural to me. It's just there already. I just have to find it. Not to subtract from anything. I'm here to add to your sleep. Actually not. I'm here to take your mind off of stuff and keep you company. Welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that's known to put you to sleep, but it really is here to cut through that loneliness, cut through the deep, dark night, to be a friendly voice so you could fall asleep because you deserve a good night's sleep. So I'm glad you're here. The show is very different, so give it a few tries if this is your first go. And just see how it goes. Structurally, what we got coming up is support. That means paying for the podcast is totally optional. So many people benefit from that. So it brings me such joy to keep you and so many other people company tonight, but especially you, of course. Like, I'm really doing it for you, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. We both know that. But there's other people along for the ride. It's like we're, yeah. So what was the point of that, so structurally, yeah, there'll be support. Then there's a long meandering intro separate from the support that eases you into bedtime, flips the pillow, preps the bed, or as you get ready for bed. Then there'll be a bedtime story. Tonight will be me looking at episodes 700 through 800 of this podcast. And going on some serious tangents about it. I mean, not serious tangents, but a lot of tangents. Probably some ones that I consider serious. I said, well, why did I do it that way? Or I can't remember. I get stumped a few times. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks again for coming by. Oh, yeah, then there's, and then there's thank yous at the end. So that's the structure of the show. I'm glad you're here. And thanks for making it possible, my patron peeps. Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing? Trouble getting to sleep? Trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it the bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. You need to do, what I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place, get forgetful. Regular listeners know I even made I changed the order by accident there. I don't even remember tossing, turning, mind racing, or trouble staying asleep, trouble getting asleep. Yeah. What can I say? Been doing this a while now. I love it. I love being here to keep you company, put you to sleep. What I attempt to do every time, though, is take your mind off of whatever's keeping you awake. Could be thoughts, things on your mind that you're thinking about the past, present, the future. It could be feelings, anything coming up for you emotionally related to those thoughts or feelings that are just there or left over from the day or about something coming up. Could be physical sensations. Could be changes in time, temperature, routine. You could be going through something. You could have something coming up. You could have a change in your work schedule, change in the time. You could work one of those shifts, any of those wonderful shifts we love to shout out on the podcast. Second shift, third shift, 84th shift, is B shift, D shift, C shift, of course. I'm not going to forget you. These are a few of my favorite shifts. Night shift, mid shift, a lot of shifts. Here's a shift. There's a shift everywhere. There's a shift like there is. There's me using words repeatedly. But the only reason I bring that up of what could be keeping you awake is to let you know you're not alone. And this isn't the case for every listener, every new listener, or every regular listener. But it is the case for a lot of people listening that whether you're alone physically or you're in a house full of people or with one or two people or with a pet, it can feel lonely in the deep dark night. At least for me, speaking for myself, it's felt pretty lonely all the way back to when I was just a kid sharing the room with my brother. Yeah, even when I have someone in the room, like all the way back to when I was a kid, it felt lonely. And that's what this podcast is really here for, is to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff. And whatever is keeping you awake, other reason I mention is because if I can't relate to how it feels, whether it doesn't feel lonely or not, or whether it feels like something else, or it feels like a bunch of things, which is the case for me a lot of times, even if I've never been through what you're going through, I can probably relate to how you feel. And even if I can't, there is someone else listening right now who can. There's enough people listening, and maybe they haven't been through the exact same thing, but they can relate to how it feels. And I'm sure that they're leaning in right now and saying, yeah, I've been through something like that. And I do know how it feels. And I really hope, if they're a regular listener, they're saying, I really hope Sleep With Me can help you like it helps me. Now, it doesn't work for everybody, which we'll talk about in a second. But the other thing is you deserve a good night's sleep. You deserve a bedtime you don't have to dread, a bedtime you could look forward to or feel neutral about. And the rest you need so that your life is more manageable. And that's the most important part about the show. It's here to keep you company because it can be tough. And the fact that it's tough about something you really do need. And if you get the sleep you need and the rest you need, your life's going to be better and your world's going to be better. And maybe Sleep With Me can't even be the one it can't be the thing that provides you with that. So you can always check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you, because there's tons of other sleep podcasts on there and sleepy stuff you could check out. So there's that. What else do you need to know? It's a podcast that takes a lot of getting used to. When people first get here, they're skeptical or doubtful, or they're just really tired, and they tried a bunch of different stuff, and then they get to the show, and it takes some getting used to. One, because it's a podcast you don't really listen to. You just kind of barely listen. I don't make a lot of sense. You know, I've got creaky dulcet tones and pointless meanders. I send my voice across the deep, dark night, and that can be strange because you say, what is this guy rambling on and on about? Was he talking about people's favorite numbers? What do you mean you don't have? I've never heard of that. You never had a favorite number before? I say, well, you know, I guess, I've never had my own private favorite number, to be honest. I don't know if there's ever been a time in my life where I've been asked my favorite number and I haven't overthought it. Even if if I said it fast, it was like instant. It was like down on the old brain stem, which knew just say 7 or 11, or just say anything to get first of all, who's walking around? I mean, I guess there's a lot of different quizzes where, what's your favorite number? I mean, and there was that thing with the folded papers you could do, and then you would count That never went well for me either. So that's probably another reason I don't have a favorite number, because I would say, please let the folded number say that you have a crush on me, because I have a crush on you. And never, having a active imagination, it, sometimes when it comes to things like having your favorite number or crushes, it can create some hurdles for some opportunities for growth. So yeah, I mean, you say, what kind of person makes a sleep podcast that you just barely listen to? What qualifies you to be barely heard? Well, one thing is I've never honestly had a favorite number. I mean, you wouldn't even know what to start. I mean, I guess if you were going to quote song lyrics, we would go with the number one, because then I'd say, don't worry, number one. Like, I'm going to keep you company in the deep, dark night. But actually, what I think I would do is introduce number one to BB-8 and also my imaginary version of BB-8, BB-88, because I just like saying BB-88 better. I mean, it's not a knock on BB-8. But I'd say, number one, why don't you hang out with BB-8 and BB-88? They are so, they're droids, by the way. They're not just numbers, but we're not comparing things other than comparing which, sounds better when it comes out of my mouth, BB-8 or BB-88. But I think they'd be good companions for you, so then you would no longer be, according to a song, the loneliest number. You'd be, I can tell you, number one, or one. Can I just call you one? Do I need, would I use usted if I'm addressing you, or only if I'm calling you number one? One, do you know can you explain to me what an infinitive is? Because I don't, this is probably not the best time. Oh, not even the best time for this tangent, but I think here, number one, meet BB-8, BB-8, meet number one meet BB-88, BB-88, you're a droid, you figure it out. And I'll get back to the sleep podcast. So this is a show just kind of like background noise. There's really no wrong way to listen, but a lot of people just barely listen. So what was he talking about last night? Was he talking about, music and music from the movie Star Wars? No, I don't think I don't know, using Star Wars to teach numbers? No, I don't think so. There's no way he could have been talking about the fact that he's never truly had a favorite number of his own, because, I mean, that's relatable. I've only had performative, all my favorite numbers have been performative. Somebody call the Young Institute or something and tell them, they say, have you done some research on this at all? First of all, then they'd have to ask you, what's your favorite number? How do you feel about that? What made you say that number? You say, okay, I gotta go. I can't. This is what it looks like inside. Also, I'm in the middle of opening a sleep podcast, so I can't stick around here. So it's a podcast you just barely listen to, and that takes some adjustment, because most podcasts, even sleep podcasts, at least, they're kind of meant to be listened to, right? And then carry you off into sleep or kind of bring you into sleep. Sleep is more like a pleasant noise in the back. Well, I guess not a lot of people would describe me as pleasant noise, but a mostly, to quote Douglas Adams, mostly harmless noise. So that's one. This is also a podcast that doesn't put you to sleep. I've been making this podcast for 10 years. And it's a sleep podcast, but it doesn't really put you to sleep. I'm here to keep you company while you fall asleep, so there's no pressure to sleep at all. That's why the episodes are over an hour, and I go on and on and on, and I'm here to the very end, because one, there's people who are listening who can't sleep at all. Two, there's people who are listening who need a break during the day. And three, there's people who kind of listen, or they wake up, or and they listen and they go back to sleep again. And I just believe that the fact that I'm here to the very end to keep you company, whether you're awake or asleep, it's important to me. it's important for me to let you know that I'll be here whether you need me or not. Like I'm on call. I'm on call to be your boyfriend, your boy-bae, your boy-sib, your boy-bestie, your boy-burr, your neighbor, your borbie, your boars, your boy-bae. Did I say that already? Your boyfriend. I'm here to be your friend in the deep dark night, keep you company, and take your mind off stuff so you can drift off. And to say relatable things. I mean, I think, there's been a lot of things said in the world. A lot of people much more good spoken or whatever it's called than me. But there's been brighter minds. But I don't think that there's a lot of people who talk about, maybe do I need to have a favorite number? But really, I mean, I could see a favorite. No, if I'm in a math related field or like I'm good at math, this isn't against numbers. I'm just saying, like, here's the thing. Okay. I'm going to turn it around. There's only whatever there is. What is there? 10 numbers initially, 10 numbers to build stuff with, at least the way I was taught. They're just all so lovely. I just could never pick. I could just never pick a favorite one. Honestly, I love you all so much. I mean, some of you have curves, some of you have edges, some of you, it's just, I can't get enough of all of you. So how could I choose a favorite? Of course I'm going to be performative in my favorite choosing, like so many other things. I didn't mean to say, how could someone not I could say, I meant to say, how could someone choose? Yes, I'm pandering to numbers, by the way. So that's why I've given all of you a lifetime imaginary, not just number 1, but 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, along with all your derivatives, and number 1, a lifetime subscription to an imaginary hangout with your own personal BB-8 and BB-88. Or, if you have some sort of thing with the number 8, you say, well, that's a lot of 8s. I don't know if I can handle that. I know 5. I get it. BB5 and BB55 are out there just waiting for you to hang with them. Or you say, well, I'm the only 5. I say, okay, I got you. You could use your imagination or mine. I could get you BB2, BB22. BB22 even, BB2 and a tutu. How about that one? How about just a tutu? Okay, so this is a show you don't really listen to, and it doesn't put you to sleep. It just keeps you company while you drift off. It also, most people, I think I said it, like most people, I mean, can you imagine people don't like the show when they first listen? There's people who are regular listeners who don't like this show. Or just don't like me, and that's fine. I mean, it's very different, and I mean, I don't know. I can only be the best version of myself I can to put you to sleep, and we can have a little bit of fun on the way there. And if we have to pander to numbers, we got to pander to numbers. I mean, who couldn't you? I mean, who can't use the world of balance where I pander to numbers for 10 minutes and I also acknowledge. The only reason I keep going back to it is I never really realized that I didn't have a favorite number that wasn't made up. And don't ask me for that. Now I'm like, keep thinking, like, at some point I'm going to be asked, honestly, what would your favorite number be? I say, all of them. No, you have to pick one. I'd say, okay, well, I got to, like, that's a good thing. I'd just say, well, moving on. So, okay, so let's see. What else do you need to? Structure of the show. I'm going to have to give it to you quick because I've gone on so many tangents, but I'll give it to you quick in a slow way. Show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, numbers, or whatever I said. That's so you feel seen and welcomed in. You say I could check the show out. Then there's business. So paying for the podcast is optional. There's 600 ad-supported shows you could listen to. So you don't got to worry if you need the podcast. Then there's a long, meandering intro that eases you into bedtime. It's not meant to put you to sleep. It's meant to set up a bedtime and slowly bring you in while you're getting ready for bed, or you're in bed getting comfortable, or you're doing a chill activity or whatever it is. There are people that fall asleep during the intro, and there's people that skip it. but for most people, whether you listen to Sleep With Me or not, we need a bedtime, a wind down. So that's what the intro's there for. Then there's support again between the intro and the story. And then there'll be a story. Tonight it'll be like a little look back, a little listing, a little talking, a little bit of numbers. And then there's thank yous at the end. That's the structure of the show. That's why I make the show. I'm so glad you're here. I work really hard at your and I strive, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways we're able to do this for you for free twice a week. Everybody, Scoots here, and this is going to be a look back episode. And I realize, I mean, I know we've done different kind of, usually we do some sort of episode whenever we cross the double zeros or the double aughts. But to be honest, I don't know that we've done a full-on review of titles of episodes in a while. Or if we did, I didn't take good notes. So, but I'm doing these episodes. Normally, this episode would be a TV recap episode. But as I'm recording these, we're in the middle of a writer strike and an actor strike. And I want to show solidarity with those performers. You know, because if Sleep With Me was funded by an outside company, especially like a big corporation, you know, I would want some, I would want to be compensated. I want to know my insurance and my retirement and all that for the value they're getting out of the podcast. I mean, that's not the case, but if it was, I want to show solidarity for everybody that's in that position. Because I do know what it's like working really hard. Yes, I get to use my imagination, but it's still a lot of effort that goes into it. It's not just just doesn't spring out of nowhere. And it goes for the same for all workers. But the reason I'm doing these is because I don't want to promote anything. I said, and it was just like sometimes creative challenges are cool too, because we did 3 Buster Keaton silent film episodes. Then we're going to do a few of these, and we'll have the holiday season. I'm not sure what we'll have on tap for that. And, you know, when the strike's resolved, we've got episodes of Great British Bake Off ready to go, and then we'll be working on our next series after that. So cool. So what are we going to do here? We're going to start with episode 700 and kind of go from there and just kind of look through the titles and stuff and say, hey, what's in the feed here? And let me find it. And these are all episodes at this point you could listen to free. They're all in the ad-supported feed. I mean, if you listen as a support, like you have a subscription, like that you buy directly from Sleep With Me, you'd have access to all these episodes ad-free and in story-only content. But as long as, and there's a ton of other stuff in those feeds. But I'm looking through the ad-supported feed here. It's going to take me a little while to scroll back at all. So, yeah, this will just be a fun look back. We'll do a few of these, and I don't know, you never know where these ones go when I have these random lists. Okay, here we are. We're already at 699. What time of year was that? So 700. Okay, that was a recap. 701. Oh, we were doing Stan Chronicles. So Stan Chronicles was Processing Boredom. That was episode 8 of Stan Chronicles, which was season 2 of Nuns in Space, which we had a 3rd season of at some point. Not that long ago, maybe a year or 2 ago. But Stan Chronicles was kind of cool because Stan was like a Scooter, a fictional Scooter's best friend, and Scooter was Stan's sidekick, or Stan was Scooter's sidekick, depending who you ask. But Stan is a sentient freestyle soda machine. This takes place in the future. No soda machines that I know have gained sentience yet. How come when people talk about AI, they don't talk about it and I'm not talking about Allen Iverson, I'm talking about AI and soda machines. Are we talking about AI and soda machines? Because that's what I'm talking about is AI and soda machines. Like, how come nobody's talking about that? I mean, like, here's giant corporations. Take my free advice. Please provide me with a freestyle soda machine and a lifetime of extracts, but probably don't because it probably wouldn't be good for me. But, like where the AI could learn your soda preferences. And I mean, maybe billionaires already have this. I don't know. And they say, we don't drink what you people drink. We drink, whatever. There actually is a nectar of the gods. I say, okay, interesting. But like the soda machine just learns my preferences. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, but in Stan Chronicles, it's a freestyle soda machine named Stan, who is a sentient being. And Stan follows the artist's journey or the artist's way because Stan's trying to go like kind of become a fuller, not gain sentience, but, be able to flourish in the world. And I mean, that's where AI and soda machines come in. Who doesn't want their soda machine to flourish, whether it's sentient or not? Okay, then we had Star Trek TNG, season 4, episode 3, Brothers, good old Data. Speaking of best friends, Data, turns out Laura was not Data's best friend, but yeah, then we had a retrospective episode that we just republished. Then 704, Little Bits, Stan Chronicles. And, that's one of those Sleep With Me titles that supposed to be, funny. And then this one is another TNG episode, The First Duty. I love saying that for two reasons. One, it just makes me giggle like a little kid. The First Duty, you just like, what do you do after your fourth cup of coffee, Scoots? I say, well, probably. But ideally, maybe my third or my second. Hopefully it's my last, too, of the day. But also reminds me of StarCraft. For some reason, not all roads of Sleep With Me lead to the game StarCraft, but quite a few do. And reporting for duty is another one. If you've ever played StarCraft, I think that it's even available as an app now, which, oh boy, if I it just, I'd paid for, Baldur's Gate when I'm recording this is like one of the games a lot of people are playing. I'm not playing it because, I'm waiting for another game. But I have a Baldur's Gate, the original, there used to be a point and click RPG, Baldur's Gate. Then it became an enhanced app. I don't know what the enhanced part is. And I bought that app whenever it came out, literally at least 12 to 14 years ago, maybe less because I'm never correct. But I said, is that still in the App Store? Look, I paid for it, right? I bought that app and I re-downloaded it. Haven't played it yet. I'll be honest. If you're a super fan, though, of Sleep With Me, I did create all the characters based on the characters from Journey into the World of Friends and Journey into the Land of Tomorrow, but I haven't played the game yet. And then I said, can I play it with 5 people or do I need 6 people in my party? Okay, moving on. Crossover episode. My friend Harris, my friend Craig, who makes Sleep Whispers podcast. This is Sleep with Whispers. And if you haven't listened to that and Craig's version, I really enjoyed both. I also enjoy trying to make people do my style of podcasting and have fun and make them laugh. So I think there was some point where I was pretending I was Yoda or pretending Craig was talking to Yoda. So that's fun. Okay, then we have a changeover in the TV show coverage to The Good Place, season 3, Everything is Bonzer. And that was season 3, episodes 1 and 2. Then Stan Loves Running, that's Stan Chronicles 10. Then The Good Place, season 3, episode 3, The Brainy Bunch. Here's a story of a loving Chidi teaching ethics like an oyster produces pearls. So that's how I then Ship in a Bottle. Oh, TNG. Interesting. 2 TV shows at the same time. I must have got a lot of emails about this. Yeah, I can only imagine my email inbox. Holy moly. So yeah, we got that one, shipping a bottle. Then the snowplow, which was good place to sleep, season 3, episode 4, which I think has a different title in the real episode. Let your thoughts be gently pushed aside as our ethics team clears away for a good night's rest. Then a pretty seminal episode, 712. So as I'm doing this, like about 500 episodes ago, 5 years, almost exactly 5 years ago. Wow, holy mackerel. That's time flies. And that's where I said goodbye to the climb-in closet, where I started the podcast in 2013. Maybe you don't know this, like if you're listening, is that, Sleep With Me is not recorded in a fancy studio with high-tech stuff. It's 97% of the time recorded in a closet, and the other 3% of the time probably in a car. And, well, maybe like 0.01% other places, public feed episodes. But yeah, so when I started the show, I don't know where I recorded the first few episodes, but then once I realized I was going to make more than 3 episodes, I said, okay, well, I could do it in the closet of my daughter's room. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment where the living room was split in half, and I had my bedroom behind curtains in the living room. And then my daughter had the bedroom was her room. But it had a really long closet, not a deep closet, not a walk-in closet, because this apartment was once a house that was converted into 4 apartments. So a lot of the things you say, interesting. So this was one that, like, I assume they just added drywall, like when they, like as an extra, like, so it's just like a room where literally if you were standing there, it was like a hallway with a closet rod in there that ran back. Like maybe even at the last minute, they said, this room needs a closet, dude. So that was a climbing closet because there were clothes and stuff in there. So literally, like the closet was only as wide as the clothes. So I would have to climb around the clothes to the back of the closet because the closet didn't go backwards. It just went to the left, like it was like the door was all the way at the end of the room on the right. You opened it, and to the left, the closet was almost as long as the room. Went to the door, where the door was to come in and out of the room. And so that was great because all those clothes stood in the way of they helped dampen some of the sound. And then we moved for the first time and the last time so far into another place in, I guess, October. I would have guessed August, but I guess it was around October or when I released this episode, it was. And I said goodbye to that closet. Next up was Good Place, episode 5, season 3, Jeremy Bear Me. Then Ice Cream Barons, Stan Chronicles 11. Then Ballad of Donkey Doug, Good Place, season 3, episode 6. That was a good one. Dustbusters, Tale of the Tape, October 31st. That's like a movie. I just was listening to script notes. When I'm recording this, it's late August 2023. And they were kind of talking about premise versus theme. And Craig was talking, like, give an example of a high concept comedy if it didn't exist yet. And he said, like, 3 people in New York City using high-tech equipment to track down dust. Even at the time, it wasn't until he said the last part that I said, oh, wait, that should actually be, that's interesting. And I said, oh, because it is a movie. And so this is where I tried to remember the plot of the first movie. I don't think I could ever get through the plot of the second one. I mean, I know how it ends with the Statue of Liberty and Goop, but then I get the rest mixed up between the 2 movies. For the Love of Ray Parker Jr. Then Fractured Inheritance. Season 3, episode 7. That sounds like a Sleep With Me version of a different title, but I'm not sure. Wow, back then we had, then we have Moving Cloudy Change, Stan Chronicles 12, season 3, episode 12. That was the season finale. And, yeah, your eyes will be cloudy as you say goodbye to Stan or whatever. Head off on a journey to sleep as our heroes save the world. Wow, Greatest Greeter came out and says, wow, I had no idea. If you would have asked me, Scoots, Greatest Greeter, you remember that one? Kind of. I know what it was based on, a real concept. I would have guessed it came out in, honestly, like the 300s and 719. I know my brother did the artwork for this, because The Greatest Greeter is based on this, or was strongly influenced by this person I saw once upon a time. Or now it's probably, now because it's mixing with the podcast, I can't separate reality. But it was Golden Gate Park, or maybe the Presidio, now that I'm being honest, looking at it in my memory right this moment. But I thought it was Golden Gate Park. It was raining very hard. It was daytime, though. Was driving through Golden Gate Park. I believe I was probably a passenger. And there was a gentleman in a yellow rain slicker with a yellow rain hat, like you see, like the Gordon's fisherman. This person was not the Gordon's fisherman, but they were standing in the rain, smiling and waving with a genuine, like, joy in, I mean, it was slightly different where you say, well, that's different. But it was like it was like a true love of greeting. That's why The Greatest Greeter. And then I don't know, like if it was in my mind or in the podcast or in reality, that they were also holding a teddy bear dressed in a rain slicker with a matching hat. But I know that's what became the art. So, but I think they were holding a teddy bear. So, I mean, just the kind of image you just come across. One, what a miracle to come across something like that. I mean, it's not even like found art, but it's just like, it is. I mean, I don't know, like you said, holy cow. I don't know what the person's intention was, right? But it had a positive impact on me. Okay, making use of free will. That's Good Place, season 3, episode 8. Then Stan's artist journey in review. That was 721. So 720, like, so the third, like the review episodes where I look back at the production of the season and how we told the story and where some of the ideas came from, what the challenges were, what my expectations. So if you ever wondered what thought goes into writing for Sleep With Me and where do the ideas come from other than when I'm talking like this, those are good episodes. And you can even search, you could search 13, the number 13, or in review in most podcast apps that allow search in the feeds to find those. Okay, next up was an all intro episode looks like for Thanksgiving, 722, cornucopia of Crunch and Munch. Then don't let the good life pass you by. And I don't know, was that the finale of The Good Place? I guess so. So that was 723. Then 724, oh boy, it's been a while. Have we ever returned to this? This is one of my favorite series, holiday series. Maybe I'll re-release these this year. Happiest Holiday Shop, Mistletoe Junction. Yeah, we'll have to re-release these because they were good, man. And that was like one of those things where it was the happiest holiday shop, where you go shopping there and then you learn what's important. And then we had Macy's 2018 Thanksgiving Day Parade recap. Then Doctor Who Holiday Special, Season 2, Episode 1, Holiday Mannequins. That may have been Rose's first episode. No, Season 2. Interesting. I know Rose works in the store, right? Maybe, I don't know. Then Happiest Holiday Shop 2, Opaque Snow Labyrinth. Then Then, interesting. Tangents on top holiday specials. Oh, that was a list episode, which I've never watched any of these. Maybe I'll watch some someday. Tangents on top. So it's just a couple lists of top holiday specials in the U.S. and the U.K. Then Janet's, The Good Place to Sleep, but I don't have them labeled in numbers. So that's interesting. Then Monchichi's Fans' Eve. So that, I guess, it indicates more than one fan of Monchichi. And that it didn't come out on Christmas Eve, but on December 19th. Oh, then Happiest Holiday Shop 4, Thresholds and Gifts. Interesting. That came out on December 23rd. Then 2 all intro episodes for Christmas and New Year's. And then on January 7/34, Season 2, New Earth. I thought New Earth was with... Rose was in more than one season? Maybe this is where we change up companions? I thought Rose was in 2 seasons of Doctor Who, but maybe only 1. I don't know. Then Memories of Sha Na Na. So it's another personal story episode where I try to remember Sha Na Na. Oh, then a curry-based episode, Real Time Pataks, where I talk about curry paste. I didn't know I even did one about that, but I have a pro tip, right, that maybe I talked about. I don't think it was after this episode, but putting riced cauliflower in your curry is a good move. I strongly recommend it. Build a Bird Home. This was a very popular episode. It gets a lot of feedback. We probably even put it out as a thing. And we used John August's writer when you really need some help pack. And what a great, it was just a strange episode. Chidi sees the time kniff. That was another Good Place to Sleep one. And Sleepy Syrup. Las Vegas with Ray. So this is when Ray walked around Las Vegas. We had gone there to run in a race with somebody from we went to school with. Then Big Farm in the Sky PI, Heavenly Solutions, Season 2, Episode 1. Another one of my favorite series that I think about more often than not. The Big Farm in the Sky PI is a tale of 3 people, 3 main characters. I don't know the name of the uncle, to be honest. So Simon, good thing. Uncle Simon, who lives in the big farm. And then G and DK, who live are earthbound humans. And they solve mysteries together. Season 1, they were solving mysteries in the big farm in the sky, or places where you could get to from the big farm in the sky. Season 2, there is a new company solving things in the big farm in the sky. Heavenly Solutions is actually the name of the company. But G and DK have moved to the largest retirement community in the United States. And they are solving mysteries in the largest even though they're tweens. So, yeah. Then Pandemonium, The Good Place to Sleep, Season 3 finale. What do we got? A Bunny and Owl Watch TV. This was based on a fish set list. Wow, the Baker's Dozen was in 2017. Is that correct? Really? Man, that's wild. Yeah, it's like one of those ones where I take a random thing. Then another really great crossover episode. I put a lot of work into this one. It Makes a Sound pinball game. If you haven't listened to It Makes a Sound, you should. It's available in your podcast app of choice. And I highly recommend looking into Wim Farrow's. The Case of the Closed Cameo is a Big Farm in the Sky PI episode. I don't remember. Let's see what the concept was. Oh, there's another person named Penny that they're helping with. Then Futh and Flaw, that's Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 3. Unboxing of Tokaido, which I still haven't played. And now it's, wow, it's been a long time. 5 years, 4 years, 4.5 years. And still haven't played Tokaido, but have it, and it's been unboxed. The Case of the Plagiarized Cupcake, that was a fun one, reminding me of the script for the screenplay Butter. Or that may have been, and I think even though it's different, that script will remind, I don't know. And that got made into a movie. I think it won the Nichols Screenwriting Fellowship. Okay, Sandman in Toyland, Untold Tales. I can remember listening to this episode. Came out in February 2019, but I can remember being on the 205 listening to this. And then getting on 5, maybe. I don't know where I was headed and when. Because I can't remember needing to be on the 5 around February or March. Okay, let's see. Next up is Train Whistle in the Night, Big Farm in the Sky, PI 751. And what's interesting with that one is that I'm reading this book by Stephen King. Well, I'm reading it's one long book, according to Stephen King, or one long story about the Dark Tower. And I know I've seen a cover of a book with a train on it. Maybe it's even the one I'm reading now. I don't think so. I think it's the next one, but there's a train. There's a children's book at the train that comes up where I am reading it right now. And then 752, Girl in the France Place. This was a good Doctor Who episode. Trapper Keeper Memories, back to school content in March. But I have a Trapper Keeper now, just in case anybody's asking. I haven't found a way to use it, but I do have it. Let's see what else we got. Court Pickle Dance. That's a Big Farm in the Big Five in the Sky. No, Big Farm in the Sky. PI episode 5. Rise of the Cyber Person. What is this one? When Billy Bass becomes Albert the Singing Fish, your sleepless sass becomes your resting wish. Then the Doctor, Rose, and Mickey will take a trip to another blimpie, London. Billy Bass becomes Albert the Singing Fish. I'm lost, man. And then another cooking episode, Real-Time Broth. That's a good one. Shaking the remains of the day away with some easy cooking, and by way of TJ's and IKEA. Then Magic Masquerade Mystery, a little alliteration there, 757, Big Farm in the Sky. Age of Steel, Doctor Who, Season 2, Episode 7. So that was 55 and 58 are tied together. Start with this crossover, breaking out of the Skeptic's Dilemma. Then Mystery of the Silent Founder, Season 2, Episode 7. 761, Coronation Lantern, Doctor Who. Gather round for long meandering parade with a sleepy celebration. Oh, so that was Coronation Day, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Then, what the, oh, wow. What, are you kidding me? Hold on, everybody. I'm a little, wow. I have no idea that we were still, Game of Thrones was still a thing back. I thought Game of Thrones had ended, but apparently, so 962 was, a look back at, all the seasons of Game of Thrones to see what I could remember. That's pretty funny. Not very much, Then we have Viserium Adventure. This was a crossover with my friends Ray and Michael from Viserium. Now they kind of do things. Ray's still doing stuff musically. sound sculpting. Not sure if Michael is or not. Then the Case of the Hickory Hangout, this Big Farm in the Sky PI. And then season 8 of Game of Thrones, Winterfell. The crew is getting back together with a dreamy look from Bran's heavy lids. You'll be asleep faster than you could say Kid Umber is on the new cast and Newsies. But it won't make sense anyway. It's pretty funny because my daughter was just in Newsies this summer. Sponsored by Sleep With Me podcast, by the way. But was not a Kid Umber in Newsies that I know of. Romeo was there. That's where Far Out Romeo was in Newsies. Okay, D&D and me unboxing. So that's where I unboxed. Who knew how useful a D&D would come in back in spring of 2019? A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This is Brienne's smile of true joy should lull you through the night. In one of the seven kingdoms, that is a true sign of a good night. Missing Challenge Coin Challenge, Big Farm in the Sky PI. Then The Long Night, this was Game of Thrones Season 3, Deus Ex Aria. So yeah, that was, okay, so I'm remembering, so Season 8, that was a good one. We had Deus Ex Aria, but I guess that was the thing. Like, you're like, wait, it's only episode 3. Okay, then we had a Happily Enrobed Robe Shop, where we got to hear, this was another Fish set list one, and this was our friends, the Kuzaks, that are very popular guests. Last of the Starks, that's, so we say goodbye to governance and name a good sleep. Pirate Problem. So I was definitely hitting the alliteration hard, man. This is episode 10 of Big Farm in the Sky PI. Then Bells, that's Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 5. A soft ring will soothe your sleepless nights as we explore the fictional Italian avant-garde sequel to Flowers in the Attic that may have viewed how I had viewed this episode. Then talk about, I don't know if I knew maybe I did, I don't know, but we did a Top Gun look back at the original Top Gun, tell the tape. Then Spring Break, all intros episode, well, that's way after Spring Break, though. Then The Iron Throne, Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 6. Let's see, we say goodbye to the dreamy breeze that brought us so much. Drift off as we journey through Westeros one last time. Okay, then we have magical mall walking tours. Been a while since we've been on a mall walking tour, just because there's not a lot of malls left that I can walk that are Lemonade Stand Spring. That was a Big Farm in the Sky. Then we return to Doctor Who, Impossible Planet, Season 2, Episode 9. Then A Boy in His Wagon, that was a Purple People Circus episode. Another one that one I would have thought would have been more recent, 780. What is that, like 420 episodes ago? Funny, 420. Somebody's laughing at that. But I thought that would have been like 900s. Okay, Big Farm in the Sky PI season finale, Season 2, Episode 12. Then It's the Pits, man. That's Doctor Who, Episode 10, Season 2. Then pool hopping around the Universal Orlando Resort with Ray. I don't know what year we actually did that, 2017 or 2018, that he, maybe it was 2019. I don't know. I don't think so, though, because, but anyway, Australian Sleepy Slang Tour. That was a fun one. Love and ELO. What a classic Doctor Who episode where there's where it's a non-doctor Doctor Who episode. One of my favorite, I mean, if you don't need the doctor, Love and ELO, man. Season 2, episode 11. Just love the concept of that episode. Then All Intro episode for the 4th of July. Then Legend of Billie Jean, Tale of the Tape. That was one I was waiting for a long time. 2 Slaters. I found out later that they're not related, even though you have Helen Slater and Christian Slater. And Legend of Billie Jean. One of the movies I saw as a child, I mean, not kidding, 30 times easy. And then I still couldn't really remember the plot of it. Yeardley Smith's in that movie as well. Peter Coyote, I think, too. Her Drawing Olympics. That's another Doctor Who episode. I can remember that one very clearly. Waiting for the Olympic torch to run through the neighborhood there. Then Born to Win in podcasting. This is a Born to Win seminar. We don't do those too often. Then we look back at season 2 of Big Farm in the Sky PI. And interesting. I don't know what we found out, but we looked back on it. Then Daleks and Cyber Persons. Sleeping with Doctor Who, season 2, episode 13. And this is one of those episodes that offered a good opportunity. The Daleks, more so than the Cyber people, always for me were like an archetypal thing that I said, I'm not sure, I just don't enjoy those things. When as a kid, what would happen is Doctor Who would come on PBS, and we, when I was a little kid, I didn't really watch it. I'd remember either the title sequence or the ending sequence, and then say, this show's a little bit too much for me as a child. Which I'm not sure, if I had an older sibling, maybe I wouldn't have thought that. And I associated the Daleks and Dalek voices, robotic voices, with that. Also, if you ever drive from Northern California or anywhere, Northern California to Bend, Oregon, if you ever find yourself driving there for some reason, at some point, I believe somewhere between Weed and Bend, I think not that far, like near the border, though. I want to say it's near the border, because when you get off of 5 in Weed and then you start heading on other roads, I don't know. Like, I just follow the directions. Like you'll cross over 1 to 2 Dalek structures. I mean, the cool thing about this podcast is I know there's at least 2 people. I mean, I don't know, like I've never met the 2 people, but I know there's at least 2 people that are going to let me know that they know exactly what I'm talking about. They're like, totally, Scoots. By the way, if it's the same town I'm thinking of, that's where there's good pie too, or something like that. But so what was interesting is like trying to figure out a way to frame what the Daleks, who the Daleks are, what do they want, was one of the great challenges I enjoyed with Sleep With Me, because I said, okay, I have a personal connection to these ones. They also have like a kind of cultural similarity to stuff, and none of that is really super sleepy. And I really accidentally was like, well, what would the Daleks be trying to get rid of in the world? And I don't know if it was this episode or there was another Dalek episode before. This probably was, where I said, okay, they're against comic books at all costs. They want to get rid of all comic books in the world. And I don't know, that's like the kind of thing I really enjoy. What do we got here? Then we had 20 steps to skincare. This just kind of came out of, it was fun. It's not a critical episode, but it was like, especially in 2019, I guess, I just kept seeing listicles about 30 steps skincare, 40 steps skincare. Like, and I don't know, I was like, this is interesting to me. I don't know, sometimes that kind of zeitgeisty stuff or whatever's in the conversation, it does make, I said, okay, what is it? I have no idea what we talked about though, but sure it was fun. And I mean, my way I like do things is different now. And actually, I have a pretty deliberate, I've developed more and more routines and, I don't think, washing my face, that's part of my bedtime routine now. Baked beans. This is The Adventures of Dr. Triangle and Isosceles, episode 1. This is a lot of people's favorite series, and I really this is one where this is one of the few ones where the concepts it was such a big concept. What would happen if we lived in a world without math, or where people stopped believing in math? That was the concept. And what would our world look like if there was no math? So people stopped believing in math, and so math stopped working. And who would be the heroes in that world? Why would they be heroes? What would the conflict? I think this is what it was about. What would the conflict and stakes be? And then how do you do that in a sleepy way that's relatable and somewhat believable, so that people don't wake up? But also, it's it brings up fundamental questions wait a second, what do you mean the world stopped believing in math? And I say, well, first off, I don't think it's that far afield. I don't think it's that much of a stretch to think that at some point there could be changes in how people view things. And they say, no, there's no math. Don't buy it. I don't buy it. 2 plus, math, don't need it. I guess you'd have no currency. I don't even know if the series, so it was a steep concept, right? So that was one of these ideas where that was one gem. And the other one was just having a character named Isosceles. I had to make a character named Isosceles, and then they had to be a performer. And I'm pretty sure that was what it was about, that the world had changed. Again, totally unbelievable fiction to where there was still this small vestige of people that believed in math. I think that's what their job was, to go around performing math-based skits. Or maybe I didn't hit the concept. And, or maybe they've started working for because I'm pretty sure, again, it devolves. It's a little bit easier to take these outlandish ideas and then project it onto something. So maybe it was a couple of goddesses that were having a disagreement, and then let the stuff be in the subtext. But sometimes it doesn't need to be, because it's so tangential. You see, right now we could talk about it forever. Okay, so is there gravity? If the world has no math, is gravity rely on math? Does math, obviously there's a little bit of jest, because math does not rely on our ability. Well, I guess I got to ask, is math really, is it just a concept? I don't know. Some of this is also, and this isn't self-deprecating, it's just that, different people have different areas of intelligence, and I don't have this type of intelligence or intellect, and I'm not trying to be humble. I'm does math need us to believe in it or not? But in this world, it's looking at those ideas, I guess, and using that as a framework. But also of who would be heroic in a world without math. 2 heroes will tour the world. And then it was also influenced by some of the Station 11, I think was also a big influence for that. Even though our stories, well, not a little bit different, but just a world building concept, and the idea of romanticizing touring performers. So that was that series. That was episode 1. Oh yeah, you're right here. In a world without math, the true heroic performers start off a season in search of baked beans. Then Rose says goodbye to Free Comic Book Day. So Rose was in season 2, episode 14. That's where we say goodbye to Rose. Cloud Tower supports. I guess this must have been the second Cloud Tower episode. Then River Mills, Windmills, Ratio, and Rates. Okay, now we're getting into it. Putting math to the millstone. So I think now I'm remembering writing this and trying to use, like I was using some sort of math outline to say, okay, what concept, okay, that's interesting. Then we got back to TNG, the neutral zone. What highway? I'm on the highway to the neutral zone, man. 3 people from the past make time in your sleep for their future. This is like guest star, like there's 3 guest stars, I think. Season 1, episode 26. One of Kenny Loggins, parody. When Kenny Loggins put out a parody album. Oh no, when why do you say Big Al? What if Weird Al put out an album as Big Al from Country Bears? And it was a parody album of Kenny Loggins songs. People would say that would have a very niche audience. You'd say, okay, it's Weird Al pretending to be Big Al. Who's Kenny Loggins? And you'd say, okay, first off, yeah, we could do Highway to the Neutral. Then you say, okay, but they're only parody songs about Star Trek: The Next Generation. Say maybe. I mean, I could think of the title of one song. That's a good enough idea to risk it all. And it'd be by the way, not Big Al. Weird Al be self-financed. So yeah, it'd be like, I don't know. You could self-finance it. Say probably not. But because what would the second song be? Okay, well, it'd be Footloose. But I don't know. You're right. I don't know. Then, oh, wow, Pop and Mop Sock Takeover. That was $7.98. Honestly, I would have thought this episode was, again, like in the 400s. Pop and Mop, one of my favorite characters, just not a recurring character because it just isn't enough, but was really silly initial concept. And then it ended up that it spawned at least 3 episodes where there's a whole world beneath the candy store. First, it was Whitman sampler versus some other sampler, C's or something. So that was Pop and Mop Sock Takeover. That was where they were looking. Struggle for candy dominance is real dull, and ready for you to sleep to. Okay, then High School Home, Adventures of Dr. Triangle. Another creaky dulcet tone for stories ancient as an algorithm. I guess, can you return to your high school home? And then finally finish off the season with Sleep With AMA. Let's see. So that was hour and 26, hour and 15. So hour and 26 is the longest. Hour and 22, nothing below hour here. Hour and 17. A lot of hour and 8s. Oh, all intro was under an hour, but that was a holiday. Hour 27, hour 1, hour 8, hour 13 minutes, hour 3 minutes, hour 11 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming along for the ride, and we'll be back in a few episodes, 3 more episodes to run through some more. Good night.